Okay, I'm going to try and do this quickly here. Brotherhood of the Wolf. If you've never heard of this movie, well, now you have. This is, in my mind, a crazy, fantastic movie. It's pretty cheesy in some parts, but it's unlike pretty much any other movie I've ever seen. It is a French or French-Canadian or I'm not sure. I believe it's a European production. Part of it takes place in New France, which of course would be Quebec, Canada. And it's set in the, 17th, 18th century? 18th century, I guess, 1765. Around the time of the French Revolution, I believe. The first part of the movie takes place in New France, and then of course the rest of the movie takes place in France. France proper. Now there's martial arts, there's werewolves, satanic cults, French Revolution, and hoity-toity French culture. There's a couple of scenes of the decadent parties that the nobility would throw just before they all got guillotined by the population. Now, if you read the back here, which I'm not going to, it'll tell you basically all of those things. But I can just say this. It's funny, it's freaky, and it's cool. And most of all, it's just really stupid. But stupid in a clever way, if that makes sense. Brotherhood of the Wolf. Watch this. You can't buy that one because I own that copy. But you can buy this. Princess Mononoke, which, this is a Studio Ghibli film. This is the dubbed American version. And it has lots of celebrity voices in there. Claire Danes, Billy Bob Thornton, which is a really dumb casting in this one. Who are the other guys? Gillian Anderson. Wow, Minnie Driver. Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know who Billy Crudup is, but he's this guy, I guess, the main protagonist. This is a great anime. It's a little long, and it goes off on a couple of tangents, but it is truly unique and truly bizarre, but it's really good fantasy action kind of anime, and I really like it. So, like I said, you can buy this one from me if you want, because I got it on DVD, or more properly, my daughter owns it on DVD, and she'll hopefully let me keep watching hers. Fist of the North Star. I can't say enough about this movie, but I'm going to try to keep it pretty brief, because you just got to see this, or as much of it as you can stand before you have to turn it off. This is a terrible movie, but it's so weird and so funny. Funny because it's terrible. It's like, this one is funny, but it's not terrible. It's not funny because it's terrible. It's funny because it's crazy. This one is just bad, and it's funny because it's bad. And there's some ridiculous special effects in there, some totally ridiculous characters, some terrible acting, and some kind of cut-rate martial arts as well. Even though I know a lot of these guys were martial artists, or a couple of them are, have some training and stuff and whatever. But it just didn't come across as a martial arts movie, even though it's really supposed to be. It's an Americanized anime, is what it, or manga actually. Fist of the North Star. You might have heard of it. Here it is, and it can be yours. I got 3 of these. Leprechaun. Come on, you know the Leprechaun movies. This is the first one, featuring Jennifer Aniston. I just watched this, well, to be quite honest, I watched it on Amazon Prime just a couple of days ago. I didn't watch this tape, but I'm going to have to play it anyway to make sure that it works. Your luck just ran out. I'm the leprechaun. Yeah, like I said, I watched this just a couple of days ago, and I was blown away at just exactly how stupid this movie is. And I don't know if you're supposed to take this seriously. I'm guessing not. But it's too gory to be like a kids movie, but it's too stupid to be a horror movie, and too comedic to be a horror movie. And I don't know how this gained such popularity. Cause I guess because of its uniqueness and its ridiculousness. Because of course they went on to make Leprechaun 2, which I have not seen. So I'm going to have to give this one a watch. Apparently it's a different leprechaun in this one. Same actor, but he plays like a different character. At least that's what I've heard through movie reviews and things. And I don't know, looks like same cheesy fare. I'm the leprechaun. Get me gold, me pot of gold. And yeah, that's what it is. But then there's this one, Leprechaun in the Hood. Evil's in-house. Oh, and it stars Warwick Davis, who plays the Leprechaun, also played Wicket the Ewok in Return of the Jedi, and Ice-T. There's Ice-T. And the Leprechaun. Ice-T and a Leprechaun. Who came up with this? Apparently it's hilarious. I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing that like most of the gore and the kills or whatever, you know, it's a pseudo-slasher movie. Most of these, I guess, are. But everything's played for laughs here. And there's a bunch of like gangsta humor and stuff like that. This one contains the famous Leprechaun line, "A friend with weed is a friend indeed." Yeah, like this is definitely a WTF kind of movie. But I think it'll be funny. I'm looking forward to watching this one. Then we got Life Force. I don't know if it'll show it. Of course not. The naked space vampire movie. This was actually a really cool movie. Pretty big budget for its time. You know, and this is like 1985. So yeah. The effects will be at least as good as Ghostbusters, I think. Probably better. Now, who's in it? Steve Railsback, not too familiar. Peter Firth, don't really know. Patrick Stewart. Actually, Patrick Stewart's really the only name I recognize in there. Anyway, a lot of people rave about this movie. I remember seeing it back in the day and kind of blew me away. And the lead naked vampire lady is super hot, so of course I loved that when I was like 14. And yeah, pretty good movie. Check it out. Then we got Rambo 3. This is kind of, I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually seen this movie all the way through. Rambo First Blood Part 2 was kind of, yeah, that solidified the Rambo action hero in my mind. And I think this movie came out after the like Rambo cartoons and shit were on TV. Rambo cartoons, like, this is when it got ridiculous, or shortly after, or just the height of ridiculousness. Yeah, I'm sure it's full of a lot of big guns and big stunts and explosions and car chases and lots of Stallone yelling. Demolition Man, here's some more Stallone. Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes is the bad guy. This movie, this is a quality movie. I mean, it's dumb as well. Like, you know, it's not any more. It's just pure entertainment. It's there's a lot of cool stuff about this movie that I like. I found it quite funny, actually. And the action is not bad. Sure, I'm not really an action movie kind of guy, but it was there's some cool stuff happened in it. Gotta say, a little bit of sci-fi in there. It's fun. Check that out. Cable Guy. A lot of people hate this movie. I don't love it, but I definitely don't hate it. I think it is. Yeah, of course it is. It's Jim Carrey over the top, being Jim Carrey, and but that's what you see his movies for, right? Isn't it? If you don't like him, then you don't see his movies, because that's what you would expect from the Cable Guy. But it's a little darker in this one. He's a little bit mean. He's a little bit... he really is like a creep in this. But he's a funny-ass creep, that's for sure. But he's just so weird. And Matthew Broderick is the straight man, and Matthew Broderick doesn't do much for me in this movie. If anything, I think this movie would have been better if it was anybody other than Matthew Broderick, just because I think it would have been funnier. Like, obviously the timeline wouldn't match, but if, like, say it was Seth Rogen versus Jim Carrey, the cable guy. Yeah, anyway, this is... yeah, it's unique. Cable guy. Found some more gems here. Check it out. I got Superman, Captain America, Mr. Bill, and Eric the Viking. That sounds like its own super team right there. Anyway, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Yeah, just search that title on YouTube and you'll find a billion videos making fun of it, critiquing it. It's a pretty terrible movie. There's some good to be had in it. It's kind of campy fun, I guess. Captain America, pretty much the same thing, actually, but way more boring than Superman 4. Yeah, but they're both pretty lame. These are like both the worst examples of either superhero, if you ask me. Oh no! You do have Mr. Bill, though. Actually, you can't have it. This is my copy. I'm not selling Mr. Bill. I just found it in a pile, and I decided that, hey... well, I watched it recently, but I just found it in a pile just now, and I realized the world needs to... we need more awareness of Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill, if you're not familiar, little Play-Doh guy. Okay, the lighting will be pretty rough here. Little Play-Doh guy on little sets. That's not him, that's Sluggo. Sluggo again. Sluggo's a green guy, his enemy. Mr. Bill's a good guy. He's in his dog Spot. Yeah, they're Play-Doh guys, and basically the whole, each one of the little short films is just Mr. Bill getting squished, his head getting knocked off, his dog getting crushed, and mostly by like human hands or the result of the actions or supposed actions of like Sluggo. And Mr. Bill is... this is classic 70s entertainment, late 70s, I guess. This would be... well, they're created by Running Time. But this is the Mr. Bill collection. Yep. You used to stay up way past midnight hoping to catch one. Now they're yours whenever you want them. Every Mr. Bill episode ever on this VHS tape. Well, they're really short and there's not that many of them. I don't know. Holy crap. Yeah, each one of those titles is on there. What, about 24? Pretty good. You go, Mr. Bill. So far, you're the winningest tape in this pile. Oh, and then Eric the Viking. Mr. Bill's still the winningest. Eric the Viking is boring. Not very funny. Not very entertaining, really. There's some nice visuals in it. Terry Gilliam directed this. I don't know, the humor, maybe it's just the last time I watched it I just wasn't in the mood for it, but it's Monty Python-esque. But it's a little like too subtle and laid back and a little too, I don't know. Otherwise it's just meh. It's okay, I guess. There's some good moments to be had, like the wannabe berserker guy. John Cleese is actually pretty good in it. Yeah, Tim Robbins was just boring for the whole movie. Sorry, Tim. That's my critique of your performance in Eric the Viking. I mean, maybe I looked away for a second. Or I'll be honest, I checked. Last time I watched this, like I've seen it full through maybe 2 or 3 times, but the last time I watched this, I checked out and I just fast forwarded through the scenes and just to see what happened. I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, wanted it to be over. Yeah, this is dumb. Don't bother with this. Hey, look at this. I know somebody out there is probably getting a Trek boner right now. Here you go. It's the Borg Collective. This is a 4-cassette set. The Borg Collective. Prepare to be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And that's the episodes that are on there. Each one of these is an episode, I guess. I kind of hated this show. It's bored the crap out of me for most of it. My apologies, Trek fans. I just, yeah, I don't care for Star Trek The Next Generation. Mostly because this guy annoyed the crap out of me. He was better in the movies, but yeah, super annoying on the show. Yeah, the Borg always seemed kind of a little cheesy to me. Cool concepts. It looked alright, I guess. I wasn't blown away. I think the thing about the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars, well, not the thing, but a thing, is that as universe spanning and epic as the storylines can be in Star Trek, they never have that same feel as epic and universe spanning as Star Wars. Well, like, what I mean is it doesn't feel like the stakes are as high for Star Trek, because it's like, I don't know, we're just prepared. We'll live on a ship together and, you know, make the universe politically correct. And yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Star Wars is more a bunch of, it's supposed to be like a bunch of misfits or whatever, and yeah, of course, there's the whole Jedi thing and all that, but a bunch of misfits all put together, and they overcome the obstacles that are thrown at them, whereas, I don't know, I mean, the USS Enterprise, are they like police or what? I don't know, but someone must police the Borg.